You're watching the news with me, Apeksha Srivastava. We've got lots lined up for you. But first, let's take a look at the day's top stories. The Ghazipur Landfill fire in East Delhi rages on even after 48 hours. Now, meanwhile, the Delhi government has directed the Delhi Pollution Committee to impose a fine of 50 lakh rupees on the MCD. Now, the Delhi Environment Minister Gopal Rai has informed that action will be taken against the on-duty MCD employees and officers who were present at the time of the incident. Now, to discuss elaborately on the issue and to ensure that similar incidents don't occur again, a joint meeting of the Environment Department, which is the MCD, NDMC, DDA, has been called by the Delhi government on April 4th. Now, remember earlier, Delhi police had registered an FIR against unidentified persons in connection with the fire that broke out on Monday at this particular landfill site.
48 घंटे हो गए आग बुझने के बाद भी वहां पर लगातार वहां से गैस और धुआं निकल रहा है। सीपीसीबी ने गाइडलाइन निर्देश दिया था कि उस लैंडफिल साइट के तरफ चारों तरफ जो है बाउंड्री किया जाए, लेकिन अभी तक बाउंड्री का काम जो है वो पूरा नहीं हुआ, जिससे कि बाहर से कोई अनधिकृत व्यक्ति आकर के वहां इस तरह की घटना को अंजाम न दे सके। इन सारे रिपोर्ट के आधार पर जो उल्लंघन देखा गया, उसके आधार पर अभी 2 निर्देश हमने डीपीसीसी को जारी किया है। एक, एमसीडी के ऊपर 50 लाख का जुर्माना लगाने का निर्देश दिया गया है। दूसरा, उस दौरान जो कर्मचारी और अधिकारी ऑन ड्यूटी पर थे, लापरवाही को देखते हुए उनके खिलाफ एक्शन लिया जाए, उनकी जवाबदारी को फिक्स किया जाए।
48 hours and counting, the fire at Ghazipur Landfill continues to rage on. The residents have been inhaling toxic fumes and are complaining about various diseases, including skin diseases, but the government has so far turned a deaf ear to their sufferings. Now, Times Network Akanksha brings us this report.
We are at Ghazipur dumpyard site, and here the fire has been raging from the last 2 days. As you can see behind me, this is the landfill which had caught fire on Monday in the afternoon, and in fact the smoke emanating from this landfill had surrounded the whole area of Ghazipur. It has been controlled now, no casualty has been reported, but according to the fire department, the landfill contains such inflammable substances due to which the fire is raging again and again. We in fact have residents of this area who are saying that such fires are very frequent here and it's causing a lot of issues. काफी बार ये सब कुछ होता है यहाँ पे, क्या कहेंगे?
काफ़ी बार हुआ है ये, आप देख रहे हैं कि 2 दिन से लगातार ये जल रहा है। इससे पहले भी कई बार जो है विस्फोट हो चुके हैं, जैसा कि आपने पहले भी देखा होगा मीडिया में। विस्फोट काफ़ी बार हुए लेकिन एक्शन कुछ नहीं लिया गया।
अभी भी धुआं उठा हुआ है और जैसे कि रोड पे भी ट्रैफिक भी प्रभावित होता है और यहाँ के लोगों को बहुत ज़्यादा परेशानी हो रही है, बीमारियाँ हो रही है और प्रदूषण बहुत ज़्यादा हो रहा है। इसमें से सांस लेने में दिक्कत आती है और इसमें से गैस जो निकलती है उसके कारण यहाँ लोगों को बहुत ज़्यादा परेशानी है और हमने कई बारी कंप्लेंट किया है, लेकिन इसके बारे में कोई हमारी सुनवाई नहीं हो रही है।
फादर को भी काफ़ी स्किन इशू हुए हैं, आपने बताया है।
ये 5 साल पहले स्किन डिजीज कुछ भी नहीं था, सिंपल आपकी तरह हमारी तरह उनकी स्किन थी, लेकिन इतनी जो गंदी इसमें जो आपकी स्मेल आती है, धुआं होता है, प्रदूषण होता है, इन मलबे के कारण तो बाद में हुआ है, लेकिन पहले जो वो है जिसकी वजह से वो स्किन जो है उनकी बिल्कुल वाइट हो गई और स्किन डिजीज उनका जो है काफ़ी बढ़ता गया और घरों में काफ़ी लोगों के जितने भी नहर पे मकान है ना, काफ़ी लोगों की स्किन प्रॉब्लम हो रही है।
We're being joined by Dr. Richa Singh on the broadcast now. She's part of the Center for Science and Environment and also an expert in landfill management. Ma'am, thank you so much for joining us here on Mirror Now. Now, we're talking about this issue because it involves environment and there is not much discourse around environment unless and until, such things happen. Now, garbage disposal is a big problem in India. We're in fact drowning in our own garbage. If you could just tell our viewers, from your expertise, what are the health and the environmental risks that the residents, especially those who are living around these landfills, face?
Yeah, thank you for having me. This is the offset of mismanagement of municipal solid waste that we have been experiencing over the decade. And the dump site, we need to first of all understand that if it's a sanitary landfill which is engineered in a sustainable way or which is operated in a sustainable way, this would have not been happened. And this has happened like multiple times. Why? Because first of all, we are disposing the mixed waste. It is having all sort of waste, including the organic content, the domestic hazardous waste, all sort of ignitable waste, something that can catch fire so easily. So all of this is happening due to which the landfill fire or the dump site fire has become a frequent thing for Ghazipur or Devnar or all sites, bigger dump sites in the country. So the environmental impacts, it's a very long term and irreversible. It can cause damages. For example, one of the thing which you have already seen is the landfill fire, but it is something like an episodic pollution where suddenly the pollutants level in the atmosphere will increase, including the oxides of sulfur, oxides of nitrogen, the particulate matter, including both PM 2.5 as well as PM 10. We also get some halogenated hydrocarbons in the air, as well as some dioxin, furan, because it might contain some plastics also. So these all pollutants can have serious impact on the air which we are breathing directly, and also the entire environment. Along with that, it's as I was telling you that this could be termed as episodic pollution, which is actually contributing and deteriorating the air quality. This is something which can contaminate the groundwater as well as the surface water, because this leachate is something which is continuously generated because of the monsoon and also because of the water which is present in the biodegradable waste. So all sort of emissions, including water, can damage the water, including both the groundwater as well as the surface water. And of course, you can see the air quality, which is now very deteriorated. And since we cannot have this kind of problem, at least for a region like Delhi NCR, where the quality of air is already deteriorated. Yeah.
Absolutely. In fact, Dr. Singh, you're making some, certain points that you have raised have serious consequences. Now, that takes me to my second question. If we just take into account just the metros, it's not that we're going to stop generating waste, but if I can just quote some statistics, we have about 1 crore ton of garbage that only the metros, produce almost on a daily basis. And given the kind of problems that you have pointed out, don't you think that it's time now for us to, think of something out of the box, something more innovative when it comes to a waste management solution?
We need to understand that technology is not a problem. We have all the treatment technologies on the place. The problem lies from the very beginning. Once we are generating the waste, we are not segregating it properly. Even if I'm doing it as an individual, I'm not sure if the urban local body is collecting the waste in the segregated form. And most of the waste which is being collected, for example, organic waste, it can be treated very easily by composting or biomethanation or bio-CNG plant, right? The non-biodegradable waste, such as the dry waste like plastic, paper, metals, all these have values. So only the non-recyclable waste or something which cannot be composted should ideally go to the landfills. And that too, I'm saying landfills, not to the dump site as we have in Ghazipur. You will be amazed to know that as reported by, EDMC, they are actually disposing nearly 50 to 60% of waste in these dump sites. And if you're disposing it into dump sites, this is what is happening. Fire is just because we can see there is irreversible damage which is already happening. So we have not monetized it, or we have not quantified those pollution levels. So this is a problem. The problem is, and the solution for this problem is, of course, diverting the recyclable, compostable waste to the recycling facilities or composting facilities or the treatment facilities. Treat as much as waste as you can and dispose only the rejects or the residual solid mass. That's the key. And we have many successful cases studies in our own country, and we can see that there have been certain cities which are doing it very nicely and they are able to do it.
Absolutely. In fact, if you could, just dwell a little bit deeper on the point that you're making about recycling, do you think we as a society, we as, our government policies, are we doing enough to turn waste into useful resources?
I'd say the things because of the Swachh Bharat mission, and also now the government has mandated all the ULBs to reclaim their dump site as soon as possible. The cities having less than 10 lakh population, they are supposed to clear their dump site by 31st March 2023, and the cities having more than 10 lakhs of population are supposed to clear their these dump sites by 31st March 2024. So basically, we have a couple of years to reclaim all these dump sites, and there has been initiatives by many cities, including Indore, Bhopal, Ambikapur. It's a small city in Chhattisgarh. They have reclaimed their dump sites, and nowadays they are diverting all of their waste to these recycling facilities. And it's not very expensive also, and it actually transforms into a waste business into a sustainable business model, where the waste which can be treated, which can be converted into resources, are diverted to the right facilities, and only the residues are getting into the landfills.
All right, Dr. Singh, appreciate you joining us on the broadcast. Thank you so much for staying with us.
Thank you so much. Okay.